I never thought my life would crash this fast. But there I was, standing outside the hospital with my last $20 and my sister fighting for her life inside. I kept telling myself, I can fix this. But even my own voice sounded like a lie. When the message came about a job paying $30,000 a month, I stared at my cracked phone and whispered, "This has to be fake." But I still called. A calm female voice answered. "Is this Noah Hale?" "It's Noah," I said. "I heard you're hiring." "We need someone immediately," she replied. "Come to the Hale Corporation Tower. Floor 60. I almost laughed. 60. Yes. Don't be late. When I arrived, my legs shook. I kept muttering, "Just breathe, Noah." The elevator chimed, and a cold voice cut through the air the moment I stepped out. "You're late." She stood there like a sculpture, black heels, silver eyes, hair tied so tight it looked painful. "Aurora Hale." I swallowed and said, "Traffic. I don't accept excuses." She pointed to a chair. "Sit." I sat. "Look, I really need this job." "You'll take it," she said. "The contract is generous." She slid papers toward me. I scanned a few lines, but my vision blurred. "Live in Manny, full-time presence, non-disclosure," I winced. "This is a lot. You want money." Her voice didn't rise, but it hit hard. "Then sign." "Why me?" I asked. "You were recommended," she said. "And you look desperate." I wanted to be offended, but she wasn't wrong. I grabbed the pen. "Fine. I'll do it." "Good. Follow me." We walked through a quiet hallway with marble floors that made my footsteps echo. She stopped at a glass door. "Before you meet her, understand one thing," she said. "My daughter doesn't talk to strangers." I nodded. "I'll be gentle." She opened the door. A small girl sat on the couch hugging a stuffed fox. Her eyes flicked up, then back down. I knelt. "Hey," I whispered. "I'm Noah." Aurora folded her arms. "Luna, speak." Luna didn't move. I smiled softly. "It's okay. You don't have to talk. I'm just happy to meet you." Her tiny fingers squeezed the fox tighter. Aurora sighed. "This is exactly why I need help." I looked at her. She's scared, not broken. Aurora's jaw tightened. "You assume much. And you assume she should behave on command," I said before my brain could stop me. Her eyes narrowed. "You're bold. Just honest." She turned and walked away. "Move in today." I blinked. "Today?" "Yes." "Your room is ready." I followed her to the parking garage. My beat-up car looked like a joke beside her black SUV. She glanced at it. "Does it run?" "Barely," I admitted. "Then leave it. You'll use my driver." I nodded. "Fine." When we reached the mansion, I froze. This is where you live." "Yes," she said. "And now you live here too." I whispered. "My sister would faint if she saw this." Aurora looked at me. "You have family." "Just her." "Then do your job well, and you'll keep supporting her." We stepped inside. The air smelled like lavender and something expensive I couldn't name. The walls were white, the floors spotless. I whispered, "I don't belong here." Aurora replied, "You belong where you're needed." A maid appeared. "Miss Hale, Luna is in her room." Aurora nodded. "Noah, put your things in the guest wing." I whispered, "Things?" "I only brought one bag." Aurora looked at me for a moment, something soft flickering in her eyes before she masked it. "Then you'll get more." "I don't need." "You do," she said. "You're working for me now." Later that night, I stood outside Luna's door. I knocked gently. "Hey, Luna, can I come in?" No answer. I pushed the door open slightly. She sat on the floor drawing circles on paper. I sat down across from her. "You don't have to talk," I said. "Just let me stay." She glanced at me for a second. That was enough. I smiled. "Thank you." When I left, Aurora stepped from the shadows. "She looked at you." "Yeah," I said. "She did." Aurora studied my face like she was calculating something. Don't get attached. I looked back at her. Too late. I already am. In that mansion that night, I felt it. The contract saved me, but it also trapped me. I knew it, and I had no idea what it would take to survive Aurora Hale. I woke up before sunrise, wondering if anyone else in this mansion ever felt human. My room was too clean, too quiet, too distant from everything I used to know. When I stepped into the hallway, I whispered, "All right, Noah, day 2. Don't screw this up." Mrs. Crane appeared like she'd been waiting. "You're late," she said. "It's 6 in the morning," I replied. "Ms. Hale expects discipline. Breakfast room." Now, as we walked, I murmured, "Do you ever say please?" She didn't look at me. "Know your place, Mr. Hale." I almost laughed. "Trust me, I do." When I entered the breakfast room, Aurora was already there, staring at her tablet. "Sit," she said without looking up. I obeyed. "Morning." She didn't respond. I cleared my throat. "Rough night." She paused, glanced at me. "Eat." Luna peeked at me from the corner of the table. I smiled. "Hey, partner." She whispered, "Hi." Aurora looked at her sharply. "Luna, finish your food." "I'm talking to Noah," Luna whispered. Aurora's eyes flicked to me. I raised my hands. "Hey, I didn't do anything." After breakfast, Mrs. Crane pulled me aside. "Do not disrupt the child's routine." I said hi. "That is disruption." I sighed. "Got it." Throughout the morning, the staff moved around me like I was a ghost. When I asked a maid for directions, she simply pointed and walked away. I muttered, "Friendly place." During Luna's study hour, she sat on the rug with her colored pencils. "Noah," she said quietly, "can you draw with me?" "I'd be honored." She handed me a blue pencil. "Draw a sky." "My specialty." We sat together, sketching messy clouds. I whispered, "You're really good." She smiled faintly. "Mom says art is a distraction." I shook my head. "Art kept me alive." "Really?" "Yeah." Even when things were bad, drawing made me feel like I could breathe. She studied my face. "You're sad." I blinked. "What makes you say that?" "Your eyes don't match your smile." Before I could answer, Aurora stepped inside. Study hour is over. Luna hugged her drawing to her chest. "Can Noah keep it?" Aurora hesitated, then nodded. "Fine." When Luna left, I approached Aurora. "You know, she talks more when she's comfortable." Aurora stiffened. "Do not analyze my daughter." "I wasn't analyzing." "You were." I sighed. "I'm just doing my job." "Then do it quietly." The rest of the day passed with silence, broken only by Luna's soft questions and the staff's cold glances. At noon, I overheard 2 maids whispering, "Why would Ms. Hale hire someone like him? He won't last." "They never do." I walked past them. "Morning." They pretended not to hear. Later, while Luna napped, Aurora held a conference call in her office. Her voice sliced through the house. "If he threatens my position again, I'll bury him." Another voice crackled from the speaker. I couldn't hear the words, but her response was ice. "I don't negotiate with cowards." "Replace him." There was a long silence, then Aurora added softly, "And clean up the press leak." I swallowed. "She's scary." When Aurora stepped out and saw me, she said, "How long were you standing there?" "Long enough to know you're terrifying." She stared at me. Good. Evening came with another round of tension. In the kitchen, I tried grabbing a plate, but Mrs. Crane snatched it away. "Staff only." "I'm literally staff." "You are a guest employee. You wait until others finish." I sighed. "Is this punishment for breathing?" Before she could answer, Aurora walked in. "Give him a plate." Mrs. Crane froze. "Ms. Hale." Aurora's tone sharpened. "Do I need to repeat myself?" Mrs. Crane handed me the plate reluctantly. Aurora looked at me and said, "Eat." I whispered, "Thanks." She paused. "Do not make me regret it." After dinner, I walked Luna to her room. She held my hand lightly. "Noah," she whispered, "are you staying?" "As long as you want me here." She nodded. "Good." When she fell asleep, I stepped into the hallway and leaned against the wall. Aurora stood there, arms crossed. "You're fitting in too quickly." "I'm trying," I said. "Is that a problem?" "People like you usually break." "People like me?" She met my eyes. "Men who need saving." I felt my chest tighten. "I'm not here to be saved." "Then why are you here?" "For money," I said. "For my sister." Aurora studied my face for a moment. "Go to bed, Noah." I nodded. "Good night." As I walked away, I kept hearing Luna's words. "Your eyes don't match your smile." And she was right. Living in Aurora's world felt like standing on thin ice, beautiful, cold, and one wrong step from breaking. I felt the night press against me, warning that tomorrow would be even more complicated. Aurora pulled me into another family dinner, and I tried to pretend I belonged. "Just smile," she whispered as we walked in. "Investors love confidence." I muttered, "You didn't say this was public." She only said, "I trust you. Act like it." People asked who I was, and before I could breathe, she answered for me. "He's someone I rely on," she said. "Someone who won't disappoint me." I forced a laugh and repeated her lines like a puppet. Inside, I felt those invisible lines tightening around my neck. After dinner, she cornered me. "Don't look so stiff. They need to believe we're close." I said, "We're not." She raised a brow. "Then try harder." Later that week, she dragged me to an investor gala. Lights, cameras, too many eyes. She linked her arm through mine. "Stay with me," she said. "Don't wander." I whispered, "I'm not your guard dog." She smiled like I'd told a joke. "But you are useful." Every room we entered, she introduced me the same way. "Someone I trust." Each time, my stomach twisted. I didn't know if she meant it or if it was another weapon. That night, after the gala, she drank more than usual. The penthouse was quiet except for her voice. "My marriage was a disaster," she said, staring at the glass in her hand. "He cheated, lied, broke me." I didn't know how to respond. "I'm sorry," I whispered. She laughed bitterly. "You don't even know what I went through." I stayed silent. She kept talking. "He said he loved me. Then he left. Everyone leaves when they get what they want." I said softly, "I'm still here." She looked at me like she didn't believe it. "For how long?" When she reached for my hand, her fingers slid over mine. My chest tightened. I froze. Something in her eyes softened for the first time, and that scared me even more. I pulled my hand back. "Aurora, don't." She went completely still. Her expression shut down, cold and sharp. The warmth vanished like it had never existed. The next morning, she didn't speak to me. She simply tossed a folder onto the table. "Sign the updated contract." I flipped through it. New clauses. Tighter rules. More control. I whispered, "You're punishing me?" She replied, "I'm protecting my interests." I said, "I'm not your property." Her eyes flashed. "Then stop acting like you can walk away whenever you want." For the rest of the day, she moved around me like a shadow made of anger. Her voice stayed calm, but every word felt like a push. I kept my distance, kept quiet, kept breathing. That night, Luna tugged on my sleeve. "Can I ask something?" I knelt. "What's wrong?" She whispered, "Can adults make someone stay even if they don't want to?" My throat closed. "Who told you that?" She said, "I heard Mommy talking." My breath shook. "No. People should choose where they stay." Luna frowned. "But what if someone gets angry when you want to leave?" Something cracked inside me. "Then that person is wrong," I said quietly. She nodded slowly, but her eyes were sad. "You look scared," she whispered. "Are you okay?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, I just need to think." When she ran off, I sat alone on the stairs with my head in my hands. Maybe I hadn't stepped into a job. Maybe I'd stepped into a cage built from contracts and quiet threats. Aurora didn't want trust. She wanted control. Later, Aurora appeared at the top of the stairs. "You're avoiding me," she said. I replied, "You changed the contract." She answered, "I adjusted it to keep things stable." I said, "Stable for who?" She stepped closer. "For everyone." I stood. "You're crossing lines," she whispered, "and you crossed one first." The air tightened around us. I breathed out, "Aurora, you can't force," she cut me off. "I don't force. I manage. And you need structure." I let out a rough laugh. "You mean control." She didn't answer. I walked past her, but her voice followed. "If you keep pulling away," she said, "don't expect me to stay gentle." Her words echoed through me long after I reached my room. I lay awake thinking about Luna's question. It kept replaying, cutting deeper every time. I wondered if I had stepped into something far darker than a contract. Maybe Aurora didn't want a partner at all. Maybe she wanted a prisoner. I was trimming Luna's art paper when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I stepped into the hallway and answered. "Hello." A cold voice said, "Are you Noah Hale?" I replied, "Yeah. Your sister Emily has an outstanding medical bill. Her insurance was denied. Her account is frozen pending investigation." My heart slammed into my ribs. What? Since when? The call ended. I stared at the wall until Luna peeked out. "Noah." I forced a smile. "I'm okay. Stay inside for a moment." I marched straight to Aurora's office. When I entered, she didn't lift her eyes. "You're interrupting. My sister's accounts are frozen." She typed calmly. "Yes." My voice cracked. "Yes." She leaned back. "Sit." "I'm not sitting." Her eyes lifted slowly, cold and steady. "Your sister required assistance." I intervened. I felt my chest burning. "You did this." "I secured leverage," she said softly. "You react better when you're focused." My hands curled into fists. "You're playing with her life." Aurora slid a document across the table. "And I can save it." I didn't touch it. "What is this?" "A marriage contract." My stomach dropped. "You're insane." She stayed calm. "Legal. Public. Binding." "No," I said. "No, absolutely not. You don't have a choice." I shook my head. "You don't get to own me." Aurora stood. "I already do. You signed the first contract. This is simply the next step." My voice rose. "I signed up to take care of your daughter, not be your husband." She stepped closer. "You signed up to obey." I felt heat rise behind my eyes. "I signed up to survive." "And I'm offering survival," she replied. "Your sister's case is serious. Fraud, debt, penalties. She could be prosecuted." "You set her up," I whispered. "I arranged an opportunity," she corrected. "One you should take seriously." "Why?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Why do you need this?" She didn't blink. "Stability. Public stability. Investors like stable families." "This is a trap," I said. "It's security. It's control." She didn't deny it. "Your sister's bills are due tonight. Her account can be unlocked. Her charges can disappear." I stared at the contract. "You'd ruin her to get to me?" Aurora exhaled. "I would protect what belongs to me. And right now, that includes you." I pressed my palms into the desk. "You don't love me." She answered, "Love is irrelevant." "Then what is this?" She looked at the contract. "Power." I wanted to break something. I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered, "You're terrifying." She didn't soften. "You're emotional. Choose survival." Emily didn't deserve this. "Neither did I," she said quietly. "Life doesn't care about fairness." I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat. "This feels like blackmail." "It is protection," she repeated. "For you. For all of us." I stepped away from the desk. I need to think. You have until midnight, she said. After that, her problems continue. I walked out before I said something I couldn't take back. In the hallway, I leaned against the wall. My breathing wouldn't settle. Luna found me. Noah, why are you shaking? I knelt. It's nothing, sweetheart. Her eyes watered. I heard yelling. I forced my voice steady. Adults make mistakes. Her lip trembled. Are you leaving? No, I whispered. I promised I'd stay. She hugged me tightly. Please don't go. I held her small shoulders, feeling guilt crush my chest. I'm not going anywhere. When she left, I returned to my room. The contract sat on my bed where Aurora had placed it earlier. Thick pages. Cold words. My name printed like a brand. I read every line. Financial control. Privacy restrictions. Public appearances. Legal ties. No exit without penalty. No refusal without consequences. Everything inside me screamed. I muttered, she planned this. From the start. Emily's face flashed in my mind. Her laugh. Her fear when hospitals mentioned bills. She had no one else. I whispered, I can't let her drown. The door opened behind me. Aurora stood there silently. Have you decided? I didn't look at her. You win. This isn't a game. It feels like one, I said. And I'm the prize. She walked closer. I'm offering safety. For who? I asked. Me. My sister. Or you? She didn't answer. I picked up the pen, my hand trembling. I'm doing this for Emily. Not for you. Aurora nodded once. You're making the right decision. My voice cracked. No. I'm making the only one you left me. I signed the first page. Then the second. Then the third. Each signature felt like losing a piece of myself. When I finished, I dropped the pen. Happy. Aurora took the contract. Relieved. I stared at the floor. I feel sick. You'll adapt, she said. I whispered, you don't understand what this costs me. She replied softly, stability requires sacrifice. You'll see. I walked past her, unable to look at her. Luna stood in the hallway with tears in her eyes. Noah, did Mommy hurt you? I knelt again, fighting my voice. No, sweetheart. I'm okay. You're crying. I wiped my cheek. Sometimes adults cry too. She hugged me. Don't go. I whispered into her hair. I'm not going anywhere. But inside, I knew the truth. I hadn't agreed to stay. I had been trapped. And survival had stolen the last piece of pride I had left. The wedding was a blur. Cameras flashed, lenses snapping as I walked beside Aurora. Every smile I forced felt hollow, every step rehearsed. Keep your hand steady, she whispered as we approached the altar. I nodded, my throat tight. Yes, ma'am, I muttered. The ceremony passed in silence, quick and precise. Vows repeated like scripts. Rings exchanged. The officiant congratulated us. Everyone clapped. My stomach churned. I felt like property being transferred. Afterward, the photographers crowded around, asking for poses. Aurora stood tall, flawless, the world admiring her. You look fortunate, a reporter said, flashing a grin at me. Aurora smirked slightly. He is, she replied. I smiled stiffly. Lucky, I whispered under my breath. The reception was strategic, a chessboard of influential faces. Aurora worked the room like a general. I followed, shadowing her movements, silent. Conversations passed over my head. Toasts were made. Cameras clicked. I was there but not. Present but absent. Later, in the car, Aurora finally spoke. We sleep in separate rooms, she stated, not asked. Understand? Yes, I said. She didn't add warmth. Her voice was a mandate. That first night, I unpacked my small bag quietly, placing it neatly in the guest room. I sat on the edge of the bed, looking at the contract she had placed there. Her control stretched into every corner of this new life. Money, schedules, rules, silence. I traced the lines on the paper with my finger. Each clause, each stipulation, each restriction screamed ownership. Luna appeared at the door, peeking in. "Are you okay?" she whispered. I forced a smile. "I'm fine, Luna." She stepped inside and sat beside me. "Mommy's different now," she said softly. "She's cold." I nodded. Sometimes adults have to be strong in ways kids don't understand. "But you're not like her," she said. "You talk to me." I swallowed hard. "That's right. I'll always talk to you." Her small hand slipped into mine. I held it gently, feeling both the weight of responsibility and the sharp sting of weakness. Protecting her had become my strength and my vulnerability. The next morning, I began documenting everything. Notes on schedules, on Aurora's decisions, on every interaction. Quietly, patiently. She didn't notice. The silence of our home became my map, my record, my armor. A week later, I met Daniel Cross at a private cafe. His presence was deliberate, confident. He studied me. "Aurora Hale's empire looks untouchable," he said, "but appearances are deceiving." I leaned back. "And you know this how?" "Business intelligence," he replied with a sly smile. "She's strong, yes, but even steel has cracks. Watch closely." I frowned. "Why tell me?" He shrugged. "You're closer than most. You see what others don't." The words echoed after I left. Aurora's control, her perfection, it had limits. Perhaps I could learn them. Perhaps I could survive. Back home, Luna became my anchor. She clung to me during the rare moments her mother's warmth was absent. "Noah," she whispered one evening, "I like it when you read stories." I ruffled her hair. "And I like reading them to you." Her eyes shone, and for a moment, the world outside ceased to exist. Aurora's control could reach everywhere, but not here, not in this room. Not in these moments. Yet, each bond one formed with Luna reminded me of what I could lose. My weakness became my strength, and my strength became my weakness. Protecting her meant walking a tightrope over Aurora's empire. One misstep, one defiance, one slip, and everything would collapse. That night, Aurora appeared at the doorway of my room, her eyes assessing. "You're documenting," she stated. Not asked. I closed my notebook. "I am." She didn't respond further, only left. The silence returned, heavy, suffocating, a reminder that this marriage had no room for emotion. Love did not exist here. Obedience did. Survival did. I sat on the edge of the bed, Luna asleep in her room, the contract and documents beside me. My mind ran through every conversation, every observation, every glance. Each word I wrote became armor. Each quiet note became a lifeline. And yet, as I looked at the wedding photos the next morning, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just married to Aurora Hale. I was married to the system she had built. A system designed to control, to dominate, to strip away choice. And I was already deep inside it, with no clear path out. I stopped reacting. Every command, every glance, every cold word from Aurora passed over me now like water over stone. I learned to wait, to observe, to plan. In the office one morning, she asked, "Do you have the financial reports?" I handed them over. "Here. The projections and risk summaries you requested." She scanned them quickly. "These are correct." "Yes," I said. "But there are trends in the secondary markets you haven't considered." Her eyes narrowed. "Explain." I pointed to a line in the spreadsheet. "If you shift investments here, you'll reduce exposure to the emerging liabilities." Aurora studied me. For a moment, her posture stiffened. "Interesting. I hadn't noticed." I stayed calm. "It's minor, but it could save the company millions if applied correctly." She nodded. "I'll review it." "Good work." I smiled slightly. Nothing else. That was enough. Later, I used the privacy of my room to check small investments I could manage alone. Not much, but enough to give me some control. Every calculated step, every decision, reinforced something inside me I had almost lost. Freedom could be found, even in the smallest ways. Weeks passed. Aurora started involving me more in meetings. "What's your opinion?" she asked during a strategy discussion. I gave it carefully. "If you restructure this deal, the long-term liabilities drop significantly. Immediate revenue may seem less, but stability increases." Her eyes flicked toward me. "And your recommendation?" "Prioritize stability," I said. A pause. Then she nodded. "I agree." That night, Luna found me at the desk. "Noah," she whispered, "can families change?" I looked up. "Sometimes. Even when people are mean. Even then." I hesitated. "But change isn't instant. It's slow, quiet, and it often starts with understanding yourself before anyone else." She hugged me tightly. "You understand me." "I do." And in that hug, I felt the weight of her trust. My strength and my weakness all at once. Aurora noticed my distance soon after. "You're quiet," she said during dinner. "I'm thinking," I replied. "About what?" "Everything." Her eyes narrowed. "You're distancing yourself." "Not distancing," I corrected. "Observing." She didn't smile. Observation can be dangerous. People who watch too much start to move differently, and not in ways I like. I said nothing. I let the words linger. At night, I reflected on the difference between fear and respect. Aurora commanded both in equal measure, but I was discovering subtle cracks. Moments when her control faltered, even slightly. Moments when she needed my calm, my opinion, my presence, not because she trusted me, but because she needed to maintain appearances. I realized revenge would never feel satisfying. The idea of turning her world upside down seemed powerful, but it brought no joy. Instead, the power I sought came quietly. From understanding. From anticipation. From preparation. The next morning, she entered my room unannounced. "Are you plotting something?" I leaned back in my chair. "I'm plotting nothing. I'm considering everything." Her gaze sharpened. "You've changed." "I have," I admitted. "You underestimate me." "You've always underestimated me." Her lips tightened. "I've noticed your calm. Your silence." "That calm is deliberate," I said. "It's preparation." Aurora didn't respond. Only studied me. I realized then that power wasn't always explosive. Sometimes it was quiet, patient, calculated. Later, during another board discussion, she paused mid-sentence. "Noah, your insight is valuable. Continue." I nodded. The shift was subtle, almost imperceptible. But for the first time, I felt the balance tilting. Not because she liked me, not because she feared me. Because she needed me. Luna watched from the doorway. "Do you think Mommy can change?" I smiled faintly. People rarely change for anyone else. But sometimes, watching someone else grow makes them reflect. That's how change begins. She blinked slowly. "Then maybe she can learn." "Maybe," I said. That night, I documented everything again. Contracts, meetings, her decisions, my investments. Every detail, every word, every silence became my map. I was constructing myself quietly, like a man who had been broken and rebuilt in silence. Aurora appeared at the doorway. "You're writing again," she said. "Yes," I replied. "You're growing distant." "I'm growing prepared," I said. Her eyes darkened, calculating. "You're not here for love." "No," I said. "Only survival." "Then stay vigilant," she whispered. "Love doesn't enter this room. Only fear of loss." I smiled faintly, not because I agreed, but because I understood. Fear could be wielded, but it could also be observed, studied, and survived. And surviving, quietly, was the first step toward my own power.
The day began with a storm, though the sky was clear. Aurora's phone rang constantly, her assistants frantic. "Noah," she said, her voice tight. "Come here." I walked into her office. She sat behind the desk, fingers drumming. "It's collapsed," she said, almost in disbelief. "The deal, the merger, it's gone." Daniel exposed hidden corruption. The press knows everything. I stayed silent. Her eyes burned into me. Noah, you must understand. I need your loyalty now, more than ever. I understand, I said softly. But it wasn't loyalty. It was observation, calculation, patience. Speak, she demanded. Tell me you'll stay. I will stay, I said carefully, but not for you, for what needs protection. Her face twisted, a mixture of rage and something deeper. Vulnerability? You think you can protect me? I'm protecting what's mine, I said. What I promised to protect? Aurora slammed her hand on the desk. Papers flew. I begged you before. I need you now. You know one can fail me? I met her gaze. You never wanted love. Only ownership. Her eyes widened. How dare you? I held up a hand. I've learned enough. Observed enough. And now I have proof. Proof? Yes, I said. Documents, emails, hidden accounts. Everything you thought I couldn't reach. Everything you thought would keep me bound. Lips parted, anger giving way to shock. You how? I was patient, I said simply. Silent, watching, documenting. Her breath was ragged. You betray me? I never belonged to you, I whispered. I only played the part you demanded. Aurora's face went pale. Her empire, once untouchable, was crumbling. Investors called. Media stormed. Lawyers demanded answers. She had commanded loyalty with fear and contracts, but fear was useless against evidence. From the hallway, Luna appeared. Noah, she whispered. I turned to her. I'm here. She ran into my arms. You stayed, she said, tears brimming. You didn't leave. I didn't, I said, holding her tightly. Aurora watched from the doorway. Silent fury and disbelief colliding in her eyes. Luna, she opened her mouth, then closed it. Luna's choice was made. She had chosen me emotionally, not Aurora. Not her power, me. Aurora's shoulders slumped slightly. The empire she had built with iron and fire could withstand scandals, betrayals, and even financial collapse, but not this. Her child's trust, slipping away, shattered her more than any deal or lawsuit ever could. Why? She whispered, almost to herself. Because love isn't yours to command, said quietly. Her hands trembled as she gripped the edge of the desk. You have no idea what you've done, she said, voice low, almost broken. I have every idea, I replied. And I'm done pretending to belong. She blinked rapidly, as if trying to erase the reality I held up to her. The contract, she said, voice tight. I shook my head. Legally, I'm free. You never thought I'd have proof. You never imagined patience could be a weapon. Her face paled further. I can't. Your empire is cracking, I said simply, and your child has already chosen who she trusts. Aurora's lips pressed into a thin line. The anger faded into a hollow silence, more terrifying than any scream. For the first time, I saw her completely exposed. Not powerful, not untouchable, just human and vulnerable. I stepped back, keeping Luna close. We're leaving now, not because I want to hurt you, but because survival doesn't require obedience. Only foresight. She didn't speak. She didn't move. Her empire, her contracts, her control, none of it could reach us anymore. From the corner of the office, legal documents and evidence rested neatly in my bag. Proof of everything. My freedom secured. My choice made. Luna squeezed my hand. Can we go home now? Yes, I whispered. Home is wherever we're together. Aurora's eyes burned into mine one last time. You think you've won? She said softly. I didn't answer. Victory wasn't mine. Revenge wasn't mine. What mattered was choice, and for the first time in months, I had it. The media would still talk. Investors would panic. Her empire would struggle. But none of that mattered in the presence of Luna's trust and my own freedom. I walked past Aurora without another word. Luna followed. The corridor felt endless, but I didn't hesitate. and as we reached the exit, I realized something terrifying and liberating at once. Who really won this battle was still unclear. Aurora Hale had lost control. Yes, I had gained freedom. But the world outside was unpredictable, the path forward dangerous, and that was precisely the point. The storm outside didn't matter. Not anymore. What mattered was that I was walking out, legally, quietly, unbound, and Luna was with me. Here is Chapter 8. Aurora appeared at the mansion doors, her heels clicking on the marble floor. "Noah," she said, voice tight, almost fragile. "I need to speak with you." I didn't move. Luna clutched my hand. "Noah," she whispered. "I'm here," I said softly. "Stay close to me." Aurora's eyes flicked to Luna, then back to me. I'm sorry." "For what?" I asked. My voice was calm. "Pity, not triumph. For everything. For controlling you. For using Emily. For I don't need apologies," I interrupted. "Fear doesn't make amends." She swallowed, her usual cold composure faltering. "I feared losing you. I feared losing everything. I should have acted differently." I studied her. The empire she had ruled with iron and fire was crumbling. The press, the investors, the media her control was gone. And she stood before me, alone. "You have Luna," she said finally, "and Emily. You have them safe." "I do," I replied. "And thanks to you, I know how fragile control can be. But you never understood freedom." Aurora's lips pressed together. "I tried. I did. But I failed." "Tried for yourself," I said. "Not for anyone else." Her gaze dropped. "I see that now." I stepped closer, keeping Luna shielded behind me. "I secured their futures legally. Emily is safe. Luna's future is protected. You did all this quietly," she said, voice barely a whisper. "I did," I replied, "because I had to. No contracts, no power plays, no fear, just preparation." Aurora's hands shook slightly. I never wanted it to end this way." "For whom?" I asked. "For you, or for them." She said nothing, only stared. "I never wanted this for myself either," I whispered. "I only wanted them safe. You created a prison with your own hands and it's empty now." Her eyes burned with unshed tears. I was wrong," she said softly. "You were never mine to command. Let the word settle. I never belonged to anyone. I survived. And now, for the first time, I can breathe." Aurora's shoulders slumped. She looked around the mansion as if seeing it for the first time not as home, but as the cage it had always been. "I built all of this," she whispered, "and I stand alone." "You built walls," I said. "You forgot the people inside them mattered." She didn't reply. Only the sound of her heels fading on the marble echoed through the empty halls. Luna tugged at my sleeve. "Noah?" "Yes, Luna? Can we go home?" I smiled faintly, feeling the weight of months lift. "Home is wherever we're safe. Wherever we can breathe." She grinned, and for a moment, everything outside the contracts, fear vanished. I looked back at Aurora one last time. She stood in the center of her mansion, surrounded by wealth, power, and silence. Alone. The woman who had demanded obedience, loyalty, and fear now had none. I felt no triumph. Only pity. Only relief. I whispered to Luna, "Let's go." We walked past her, holding hands, the mansion quiet behind us. No cameras. No contracts. No whispers. Only the soft sound of our footsteps and Luna's laughter filling the halls. Outside, the air was crisp, free. I took a deep breath, the first one I could take without hesitation, without calculation, without the shadow of fear. Luna looked up at me. "Noah, are we really free?" "Yes," I said. "Free to live, free to choose, free to protect what matters." She smiled, her small hand gripping mine tightly. "Then I'm glad you're here," and I was. For her, for Emily, for the first time in months, for myself, Aurora's mansion receded behind us. She remained in the empire she had built, powerful, yet powerless. Her regret came too late. Words could not undo fear, control, or the lives she had manipulated. But the people she had underestimated, Luna, Emily, and I, were safe. And that mattered more than any deal, any contract, any empire. I glanced down at Luna, and her trust was everything. My heart steadied. I had survived. I had protected. And I had reclaimed freedom without compromise. The world ahead was uncertain. Yes, but for the first time, the weight pressing on my chest was gone. I had no debt. No chains, no contracts, no fear. Only the quiet knowledge that some victories are not about power. They're about survival. About protecting those who cannot protect themselves. And that knowledge was stronger than anything Aurora had ever commanded. We walked toward the future, leaving behind the mansion, leaving behind fear, leaving behind her, and for the first time, I felt the world was ours. I sipped coffee on the balcony, watching the city wake beneath me. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of rain from last night. It feels different now, lighter, free. Luna's laugh echoes from the door behind me. Noah, I turn. She's grown taller, confident in the way children inherit strength from safety. Good morning, Luna, I say, smiling. Morning, she replies. She drops her backpack on the floor and flops into the chair across from me. You look different today. Different how? I ask, calm, happy, not scared all the time. I chuckle softly. Years of practice. She frowns playfully. You weren't scared? Always scared, I admit. But fear can be turned into focus. Patience. Planning. Observation. That's how I survived. She nods seriously. I'm glad you survived. You should be, I say. It wasn't easy. She smiles, small and warm. Did you ever think about her? I hesitate. Aurora. Her name tastes bitter now. Not because of anger, because of indifference. Sometimes I say carefully, but thinking doesn't mean I dwell. Surviving means moving forward, not backward. Did she ever try to see you again? No, I reply, and the silence is enough. You look peaceful, Luna observes. Like nothing can touch you. I sip my coffee, looking out at the skyline. Nothing important can? Fear and control only matter when you let them. Power means nothing without humanity. That's the lesson. She nods slowly, chewing on a piece of toast. And you have both now? I have what I need, I correct. Peace, safety, choice, freedom. That's enough for me. You really changed, didn't you? I lean back, smiling faintly. Yes, the man I was desperate, angry, obedient, he doesn't exist anymore. I didn't become stronger by destroying anyone. I became stronger by choosing myself. She grins. I like this version of you. I like him too, I say quietly. Mostly because he's mine now. A long silence stretches. I watch her eat quietly, feeling the bond that grew in shadows and whispers and patient guidance. Luna's trust was a gift. My strength had been forged in silence, but hers was proof of everything that mattered. Do you ever miss the old house? She asks. Sometimes, I admit, but only to remember why I left. And what I was protecting? It's not the walls that mattered, but the people inside them. That's all I carry with me. Luna smiles, leaning her head against my shoulder. I'm glad you're mine, Noah. I'm glad you're mine, I whisper. We built something stronger than walls, contracts, or fear. Something unbreakable. The quiet stretches, and I reflect on the years. The contracts, the control, the fire, I survived all of it. Not by vengeance, not by hate, not by dominance, but by observing, learning, planning, and choosing. Aurora never visits. Her name comes only when I consider how fragile control can be. She had everything, yet she lost the one thing that mattered most: trust, love, humanity. And that loss is hers to bear alone. Luna giggles, breaking my thoughts. Do you want to play chess? Always, I reply, moving the pieces across the small board on the balcony table. She moves carefully, studying each step. You taught me well, she says proudly. I taught you survival, am I correct? Chess, strategy, patience, all lessons you'll need in life. But kindness, trust, and love, that's where you'll outmatch everyone. She beams. I'll try. You already are, I say. The sun rises higher, casting gold across the city. I breathe deeply, feeling the years fall away. No fear, no contracts. No obligations but what I choose. No one can command me now, not Aurora, not anyone else. Luna laughs again, making a careless move, and I shake my head, smiling. You're learning faster than I expected, because you survived, Noah, she says simply. And now I see what strength really is. I nod. Strength isn't winning over someone else. It's surviving without losing yourself. That's the victory no one can take away. She leans forward, placing her hand over mine. Then I'm glad we survived together. Me too, I whisper. Me too. The wind carries the scent of rain again, soft and cleansing. I watch the city, the world below, and for the first time, I close the chapter not with revenge, not with anger, not with control. I close it with peace. And for the first time in a long time, I am whole.